So honestly, what I realized in college soccer is that we need support from coaches. That's a really big thing. And when I talked to coaches from here, to Zach, Josh, Shane, they all gave me that confidence and that support that I needed.
It was a nice change of pace, obviously. So after my first goal wasn't as popular in the portal, but this time, unfortunately, and I think in college soccer, goals seem to matter a lot. They attract attention right off the bat.
Both Mason and Sebastian entered the transfer portal ahead of the 2020-2021 season. While the two didn't know each other yet, both had similar desires for their next destination. They wanted to go somewhere where they could win and compete on the national stage, as well as chase after their dreams of playing professionally.
Yeah, it was actually a very nice experience. Coming from a different country. At first was really hard. It's a different culture, different language. Playing for the national team is a really special feeling. Playing for your country, representing your country. It's like, I think for most players is the best you can do. Um, I'm really happy for being Venezuelan. All the people are very supportive in everything we do, and also, like, it's not only representing my country, I'm also representing my family and myself. So I think that's great. One of the best teams from South America is Brazil. They were saying, oh, hopefully you can score against them, all that. And I didn't score against Brazil, but I could score against a really good team, which is Argentina. And after that game, my family and everyone from Venezuela just was really happy for me, and I could say that's one of my best experiences as a soccer player. But yeah, as I said, it was a really good experience. Scoring against a team like Argentina, I think is one of the best things I've done so far, and I wish I could play for the national team in the future.
Probably around 14 or 15, I started, playing well. I was playing on older teams. I was on the U14s, trained and played games with U16s, and then once I got to the U16s, played some of the U18s, and so I was seeing some of these guys go to big colleges, go to good schools, and play. And so I was thinking, I think I'm comparable, better than most of these guys. So I think it was a realistic possibility for me.
After completing his first year of college, Mason got to spend that summer with the USL's Charlotte Independence.
So I spent about 2 months there, came back from summer after my first semester at college, and the training environment was great. It was the same kind of thing when you jump from playing a low level to the academy system. So you have to just adapt on the fly. Every ball is zipped into you, everyone's physical, and everyone there can play at a high level. So I thought it was just great for my development, being able to be around that, training that environment for a few months.
Thanks to some connections he made over the summer, when he picked where he wanted to transfer, Mason decided to go to Valparaiso.
So I came in there for about 2 weeks. I was training, everything was going really well. It was a competitive environment, a couple really good players, a couple MLS, a couple USL guys in that team when I first got there. And about 2 weeks in, we were playing futsal because it's snowy there for about 12 months of the year. So just went to roll a ball, top of my foot, got a bit of a shove from the defender, nothing dirty, just how it goes in there, and just rolled off the ball kind of awkwardly. Tore my ACL, my meniscus. But for the recovery process, the trainers were good. I had physical therapy when I was there. I'll say my most distinct memory from it is in the beginning, your muscles, you forget how to flex them. And so learning to walk again is frustrating. You have to walk alongside a fence, no brace. I'll take my brace off every day while the team is training. It's about 6:30 in the morning, try and learn to walk again on that fence. But I could always see all my teammates training and thought, do this now, I'll get back out there before too long. In my junior season, it was a good season for me. I think I got to score some, got to assist some, played a couple different positions.
After transferring and making his new home at Valpo, Mason and his teammates were given devastating news at a team meeting.
Said that they're cutting men's tennis and men's soccer. And so we knew by the time we were going into the meeting, but of course 4 o'clock we go into the meeting. It's a tough day. Thankfully, falling upwards is the term my dad used. It was really sad to leave there, a team that had been very good to me, coaching staff that had stood by me when it was maybe easier to let me go when my ACL was coming around. And so I felt bad that I hadn't given everything I had for them, especially with my senior year coming up. I'd been healthy for a year. I thought this year I'll really be able to push on. The whole team will push on. We'll have a good season. But the coaching staff was great. They immediately, that day, they were on the phones with everyone, and I got my release. And thankfully, by the next morning, it looked like I had some options, which was nice. And it was just good to know that how I played that season had been seen by other coaches.
For Sebastian Chabal, the 2018 New Jersey Player of the Year, a coaching change fueled his desire to look for a different environment.
When I decided to transfer, I knew it wasn't going to be an easy, decision. But I was scared at first. You get in the transfer portal, you don't know who is gonna, who wants you, what program wants you, all that. And actually, one of the first calls was High Point. And even before talking to those top programs, in my head I was like, okay, these coaches are giving me confidence. I'm gonna go for a visit and see how it is. I just saw that was pretty much they treat you here as a professional while you're getting an education. I think it's really important for a person to have both, for a soccer player to have both, an education, your professional career. And that was, when I was 16, was a hard decision, but I thought about it. I was like, okay, what am I gonna do after my soccer career? And I talked to my brother about it. He said he wanted me to come here, and that's pretty much why I decided to wait on the professional path, come to the United States for 4 years, and then hopefully go pro after this with a title.
It was a nice change of pace, obviously. So after my first goal wasn't as popular in the portal, but this time, unfortunately, I think in college soccer, goals seem to matter a lot. They attract attention right off the bat. But luckily, my time at the Seattle Sounders U23s the summer before enabled me to meet a lot of guys from different schools in different parts of the country.
After a conversation in mid-November, it was clear Zach Haynes and Mason Marcy were on the same page.
We had the same ideology about how the game should be played, what he was looking for, and I could tell he wanted more for High Point. They'd had a great season coming off of it, but he was dreaming bigger. I thought so was I. If I'm going to go to another school, I wanted it to be somewhere where I could trust the coach, but where we were pushing for things, and both me personally and as a team could succeed. And I thought High Point gave me the best opportunity for that.
So honestly, what I realized in college soccer is that we need support from coaches. That's a really big thing. And when I talked to coaches from here, to Zach, Josh, Shane, they all gave me that confidence and that support that I needed. I think that's really important in the student athlete coaches. And I would say, compared to, I had some offers from really big programs, big conference and all that. But as a person, I think, and as a player, I think that's what we need, the support from the coaches, and that's why I came to this program.
I think that's one of the things Zach touched on in the recruiting process was, can I come in and not just be a player for this team, but can I be a leader in this group and get around the younger guys, the transfers, the older guys who are coming into new positions, and just kind of be a voice of reason in the locker room for that. I think being on 3 teams, I've gotten to know a lot of guys from a lot of different backgrounds, and so if you can take bits and pieces from guys you've met along the way into this locker room, I think it only makes my job easier to help lead guys on this team, and I hope I'm doing at least an okay job. So I think when these guys came in, Zach, Gil, and when I got to talk to them, and they said, no, we believe that your best is yet to come, and we're the ones who are going to push you on to that next level. It meant everything to me, and I knew I had to come here and I had to win for them. But as far as my drive, if you meet someone who's on the field as often as I am, you're only going to know them for so long, because I'm going to be out there that next day. I'm going to be out there as often as anyone will go out with me. I think you can ask the coaching staff. They're out with me all the time. I'm always trying to get better. I watch games every day. Anything I can pick up and use for my own game, I do.
Zach Haynes heads into year 2 after he and his staff brought in the 12th best recruiting class in the country. The future looks bright. Next time on Point.